Hey guys, today I want to talk about why lane splitting should be made legal in USA. Right now, the situation in the USA is lane splitting is illegal in all of US states except California. Why this is the case, I really don't understand why, but I want to specifically talk about why we should make this legal. Pretty much all around the world, I believe lane splitting is allowed. So what I want to do today is, build a case for why this should be allowed, made legal in all states. And if you're in California, I know there's talk about, they're trying to change it to take the lane splitting out. So I want you Californians and you Californian lawmakers to listen to my message and make sure that we keep lane splitting as is. And this also applies to other developed countries as well. There is no reason to eliminate lane splitting, as I will explain. And I'm not going to bore you with statistics and give you some made up statistics, but I'm going to give you real world experiences. And all you politicians out there that are sitting in your offices and making up these crazy laws, I'd like you to just listen to what I'm going to say, and get out of your pencil pushing jobs and just listen to my reasons. So there are a couple of reasons why lane splitting should be allowed. Firstly, it's definitely being safer as a motorcycle rider. It's definitely more safer being between cars than getting hit from behind. In addition, there are many crazy drivers out there that sometimes they try to tailgate you, they drive fast, they drive recklessly. There's a lot of late braking. So you got to watch out for these crazy drivers out there on the road. And man, in California, I see crazy drivers every day. The other key reasons for allowing lane splitting is if you enable lane splitting, you're gonna let traffic and you're gonna end up letting traffic flow faster, and you're gonna probably end up with less traffic on the road, and ultimately you're gonna have a better planet. You're gonna also cut down people's commute times because there's going to be less commute times, traffic on the road. You're going to end up with happier people. So these are some of the reasons, and I want to go through each one. So the first one I mentioned was being safe. It's safer being between cars. So when you lane split, you're driving through cars, and from my experiences, man, I'd rather be between two cars than getting my ass, rear-ended from the rear of me, man. And this does not even apply to motorcycle riders. Even if in your car, take the motorcycle out of the equation. If you're driving a car and you get rear-ended, man, that is not a pleasurable experience. You're gonna bust up your spine. You're gonna bust up your neck. That is not what you're gonna get jerked around in the car. That is not one pleasurable experience. And that's assuming that's even when you're sitting in the car. You've got the bumper to absorb the shock, the rear end bumper. You've got the weight of the car, the rear seats. You got about 3,000 pounds of steel kind of protecting you, but you still end up feeling the shock. I have friends that have been hit in the cars from rear-ended, and it just sucks. They end up getting pretty sick and messed up for a long time. Now imagine that same thing happening to a motorcycle rider, man. That is my worst fear. When I ride a motorcycle, that's my worst fear, getting rear-ended by some driver that's forgotten to brake or that's tailgating me, and that's not an experience that I want to experience. And that is definitely more dangerous than getting hit if you're in between two cars. And the reason why that's the case is if you're in between two cars, firstly you've got the motorcycle handlebars kind of getting in the way of the cars crushing your body. So the first thing that's going to get hit are the handlebars, and then probably they're gonna then you're gonna probably end up getting hit in your legs. Your legs will feel some sensation. But the key point here is, even in that situation, you're gonna be in more control of the bike. The bike is gonna stay up more, and you're gonna be more there's a higher probability of you staying on the bike versus getting catapulted if you get rear-ended from some crazy driver. I'm not invoking getting hit by cars, in a motorcycle or in a car itself. But if I had the choice of getting hit, which I don't want to, never want to get hit, and I don't want any of you guys to get hit, the impact of getting hit, between two cars is much less and much more manageable than getting rear-ended by some crazy driver where you've got absolutely zero control. Now, the other thing to think about is, you're gonna have crazy drivers, man. You're gonna run into, in California, we got 30 million people in the state. Each family or each driver sometimes has more than one car. They have two cars. So you're gonna end up in this, high population of drivers. You're gonna end up with some crazy wackos out there that just having a bad day and they're gonna just lose it and they're gonna tailgate you. I mean, there was once I was tailgated by this pickup truck. I mean, the guy just went absolutely crazy because I went in front of him at a stoplight. I kind of went through the gap. I got ahead of him, and then he just got really crazy. See, the point here is, if you're allowed to tailgate, you can kind of get away from these whacked out, drivers, and you're gonna end up being more safe. The other thing to think about here is, if you allow lane splitting, you're going to end up with less traffic on the road. You're going to encourage people to ride motorcycles. You're going to let traffic flow faster. You're going to eliminate the bottlenecks. Why have a bottleneck of bikes behind cars when you can let the bikes get through the cars, and that'll help improve congestion and improve traffic flow. You're going to cut down people's commute time, and then you're going to end up, speaking of traffic, less traffic means, traffic flows faster, and at the end of the day, that's a better planet. I mean, you're reducing the amount of time people spend on the road, you're reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. That is a better planet. You're building a better planet. You're going to cut down people's commute time, you're going to end up with, happier people, and the reasons why, I assume, your lawmakers that make up these laws of, making it illegal. I don't know whether you've ever ridden a bike before, but you've really got to stop kind of appeasing to, car drivers. You're probably putting these laws because you've got a lot of pressure from car drivers that, want to remove lane splitting. And if you think about it from a car driver's point of view, I'm going to cover that as well. I mean, I think as a driver, and I've driven cars. I've driven cars and I ride motorcycles. And I suppose one point from a driver's point of view is you sometimes get scared by a motorcyclist that just rips past you and then revs the crap out of the bike, and he just whizzes past you and you end up getting scared. Yeah, I can understand that. Sometimes you get these crazy motorcycle drivers that just, they shouldn't be really on a motorcycle as well. But the majority of motorcycle riders are responsible, and they just want to be safe, and they just want to kind of have a good experience riding the bike. And then I guess the other point of view that you drivers have is that, sometimes you get jealous of, you may end up some drivers end up getting jealous. They're stuck in traffic, they see a couple of motorcycles whiz past them, and they get jealous. So, I mean, my take on this is, think positive, right? Think positive. Don't limit yourself to, okay, why is the other person getting ahead? Think positive. You have the same opportunity as a motorcycle rider to get on a bike and experience motorcycle riding and enjoy the benefits of faster commute times and, an enjoyable, pleasurable experience. So you have that choice as well. Just because you don't drive doesn't mean that you're gonna, end up forcing these politicians to, minimize and make a lane splitting illegal. So think bigger, guys. Car drivers, think bigger. And the other point of view you may have is, you don't see the motorcyclists, and that's why you end up, hitting them because they come up too fast. And the reason why you car drivers don't see motorcycles is the same reason why you don't see cars. You're probably on a cell phone, taking mental lapses. You're probably on the phone, taking calls, you probably falling asleep when you're driving. And as a car driver, I'm telling you, I can understand that. Car driving is very, very boring. You end up falling asleep. If you're traveling more than 30 minutes, a same boring commute, and you got a really, really bad car. Even exciting cars are sometimes boring to drive. So you end up kind of, not being focused on the road. And the same reason why you don't see motorcyclists in your blind spot is the same reason why you ram into freaking cars. You fall asleep. You don't pay enough attention. So the excuse that bikes are dangerous and the lane splitting, you can't see them. That's the same reason why you would hit a bike is the same reason why you would hit a car. From my point of view, I've driven cars. I know exactly what it is. And then the other reason is, the reasons why you end up hitting bikes is you brake late, you're tailgating the cars in front of you, and that's why you rear-end cars, and that's why you rear-end bikes. And I don't want to, as a motorcycle rider, I don't want to get rear-ended by your mental lapses and your bad driving. I want to be in between cars. You can hit whatever cars you want, but just don't freaking hit me. So anyway. So I think my bottom line here is that, and you politicians, listen to what I have to say. I think the bottom line here is, from my point of view, from the real world point of view, the real life point of view, it is safer for me as a motorcyclist. I feel safer riding through cars. I've done many thousands and thousands of miles riding my motorcycle in California, overseas as well, and driven cars. So, from my real life experience, I want to be in between cars when there's a lot of traffic. That's where I feel the most safe. Of course, I have to be a responsible driver, and most motorcycle riders are responsible. They have families they want to get back to. They're looking forward to enjoying their evenings and the rest of the day. It's far worse getting hit and getting rear-ended than getting hit between the cars due to the reasons that I explained earlier on. So anyway, my point here is, I think I've explained my point about why in US you should open up lane splitting across all states, and in California, thank you for California politicians. Keep the law as it is. Don't even freaking change it. Don't appease to these car drivers that'll give you just absolutely crazy reasons because of their irresponsible driving. They want to eliminate lane splitting, and this applies to not only where it's legal in California, but all you other developed countries. Don't appease to the car drivers. Make sure that you keep lane splitting legal. And I guess my call for action here is, all you pencil pusher politicians out there in your office, come to California. Come and experience riding a bike. Ride a bike here, and then you tell me after riding a bike. I don't know whether you've ever ridden a bike in your life, but you probably will have a family member in your family that will end up riding a bike one day. So do the right thing. Come here in California, experience riding the bike here, experience some lane splitting action, and see my videos on lane splitting. I've got a bunch of videos I'm going to post up on lane splitting on this particular topic. And once you get off your cushy chair, you'll realize that lane splitting should be made legal. So do something meaningful. Save lives here, guys. Save lives of motorcyclists across the states. Save lives of any of your family members that are going to end up potentially getting on a motorcycle, and make people's life freaking better. Make the planet better. So anyway, that's my point on lane splitting. So make it legal, guys. Make it legal for those people in power. Make it legal.